Absolutely. There's many reasons that could factor into this. And I will tell you, we were on the other side of the bridge when we came over here to see what this was looking like. We've just made it because this is what you're looking at right here. You see that a police vehicle is there. Now, people are driving back from the other direction, but they are not allowed to go across. That's what we're figuring out at this point. You see FDOT is here on scene as well. Now, look at that FDOT truck. Look at all the water that is surrounding it. That is where we are right now. We're right here in St. Augustine. You see all of this flood water. You see that it breached over the seawall. We're going to walk over this way because we want to show this to you guys. So bear with me. I'm going to walk backward because it is hitting us in the face. It's still coming from that slanted direction, but we want to show you what the seawall looks like. So bear with me. I know I'm yelling, but the wind is really, really heavy at this point. We are walking over to the seawall and showing you what this looks like. You see that it is breached over and it is reaching all the way into the street. We're being really careful, but you can see that we are now getting soaked and it's getting worse. It's really picked up in the last few minutes. We're going to walk this way just so that we're safe, but if we're able to show you that same boat is still over there. We showed that to you starting around 5 o'clock this morning. Okay, it's getting worse, you guys. We're going to move over this way. Going to move onto the sidewalk. Okay. There's not a lot of traffic, you guys, and it's for good reason, but we do see some people. But now the winds are really picking up. Okay, I think this is getting unsafe. I'm going to send it back to you guys. It took roughly an hour for the crew of the USS Mason to finally disembark. Each following hug and kiss was like a new memory. Nyla Hudson and her 5-month-old daughter Salem had waited months to be reunited with her husband. When their moments finally came, everything felt whole again.
It's been, I think, about 2 months since I've seen her, since they came up to Norfolk, and it's just good to see my family again. Been a while.
ITSN Alexander Searles and his fellow sailors will now call Mayport home. Searles told me he actually grew up in Jacksonville, making this homecoming even more special.
It was definitely a good feeling pulling in, seeing the beaches that I grew up on, going to with my dad, everything like that. So seeing all the land that's kind of home to me, getting to see everything.
Commanding Officer Stephen Valerio began his officer career at Mayport. It's like he's coming full circle.
Last time I was in Mayport was 2006, so it's quite odd. 16 years later, I'm back here. The place in the United States that I lived the longest, that I call home, and now I bring my ship to call it home now.
These families now plan to get much needed rest and get reacquainted.
It is a lot hotter here with the humidity than Norfolk, but it is a beautiful day to be back in Florida.
Families reuniting and starting a new journey together in Mayport. Ashley Harding, Channel 4, the local station. From the ground and by air, we're getting a sense of what neighbors living along Jack Wright Island Road experienced with the impacts of Hurricane Ian.
We do have some pretty significant flooding. It could be worse.
Manny Granados moved here in March. His home wasn't impacted, but seeing the flooding with this storm,
I have some concern with, what could happen in the case of a very, very serious storm.
Neighbors have told us the area beyond what we can see, all this water, known locally as Jack Wright Island, basically becomes a peninsula during heavy rains. Now, judging by the scale of those mailboxes, they're concerned this could get much worse. Neighbors told us they were also without power for several hours, and it's been an issue in the past. With that, Granados has another plea.
FPL, please split our lines from the ones that go down to the houses on the island itself, because they have trees that come down frequently, and we could have power without affecting them.
Weathering through the storm, but staying grateful their neighbors are safe. In St. Johns County, Ashley Harding, Channel 4, the local station. By most accounts, Sage Goodall is a typical 11-year-old. He has a ton of energy and a big personality.
Mommy, I'm stuck!
But none of that compares to the size of his heart. A heart measured in stuffed animals. It started simple enough.
Just one day, I was just in my living room, just minding my own business, watching TV. CNN came on and it was saying about all these kids from Ukraine because of all their houses being blown up.
That's when Sage and his mom Rhonda decided to launch Hugs for the Children of Ukraine. Each donated stuffed toy will go to a child impacted by the war.
They need to feel what the normal kids of the world feel when they can hug on to something when they're scared or sad.
They stored their first collections in the family living room.
They have people.
But then the YMCA of Northeast Florida got on board. Its branches became donation sites, and each new toy is like a hug from thousands of miles away. Rhonda is still overwhelmed by the response.
The thought of a child, as Sage says, hugging on to one of these and being able to walk around, carry it around with them, they are every bit as special as every single person.
With this response comes a message from Sage to his fellow kids. Every child is special. Show kindness.
Everyone's the same. They're just human beings that God created them, and they need to realize that don't think about yourself, think about others and before you.
Making it positively Jack's difference, one hug at a time.
I remember it like yesterday, the words, "you have cancer," and now it's just all ending. It just feels like it all happened so quick, and I'm so happy. It's been 859 days since I was told I have cancer, and to come such a long way and to be able to ring that bell and be like, I've finished chemo, I'm completely done, everything's over, and there's no words to explain the feeling of it. It's just crazy. I have heard so many kids ring that bell, and it's absolutely amazing to hear them ring the bell because it's the completion of someone's journey, and to be in that situation is just insane. We're gonna go home and celebrate. We're gonna have a huge celebration. I beat cancer.